Deep within the heart of every trader, there lies a hidden storm. It is the turbulent currents of the market, waves upon waves that sweep away even the most carefully crafted plans. The dancing charts on the screen continuously sketch stories of opportunity and risk, while the trader's heart wavers amidst countless choices. A trader, like a small boat on the vast ocean, is both mesmerized by its immensity and confronted with its unpredictable perils. But the storm is not an enemy. It is merely a part of the ocean, an unchangeable reality. A wise captain does not try to control the wind, but learns to harness it to set the sails and move forward. Similarly, the fluctuations of the market, though sometimes fierce, cannot halt the progress of those who understand that strength lies not in resistance, but in adaptation and utilization. In the world of numbers and charts, composure and clarity serve as the compass. When faced with an unexpected wave, a trader does not let emotions take control, but steadies the helm, searching for currents that can guide them to safer shores. They do not stop at analyzing the market, but also learn to analyze themselves. Every decision reflects not only their understanding of the market, but also tests their discipline and self-control. An artist, when standing before a blank canvas, does not rush. They ponder each stroke, each color that will grace the surface. A trader is much the same. Every trade is not merely a number, but a part of the larger picture of their career and long-term goals. The success or failure of a single trade does not define the entire story. What matters is how the trader perceives and learns from each stroke on their canvas. Just as water never ceases to flow, the market is an endless stream where everything can change in an instant. Dreamers who believe they can fully control every fluctuation often find themselves swept away by massive waves. But steadfast traders understand that the only thing they can truly control is their reaction to unexpected events. They learn to accept losses, not with resignation, but with confidence that every failure carries valuable lessons. There is a quiet beauty in maintaining calm amidst turbulence. It is not indifference, but a profound wisdom. Understanding that the market is not an adversary, but a strict teacher. Traders learn to view every number, every rise and fall, not with anxiety or greed, but with a clear mind. They know that every trade is an opportunity to test their knowledge, and every failure is a step forward on the path to growth. Amidst great waves, a captain never forgets their destination. Similarly, a trader does not let short-term wins or losses obscure their long-term objectives. They do not seek perfection, but build a solid foundation to withstand any storm. And so, every trade becomes not just a number on the screen, but a step forward on a long journey. The ocean always has waves, and the market always fluctuates, but those who know how to steer their boat will not be swept away. They do not aim to change the sea, but learn to hold steady and navigate through it. Every wave is a challenge, but it is also an opportunity to understand themselves better, to cultivate patience and wisdom. And when they overcome it all, what they gain is not only success, but also profound growth from within. 1. Accepting what you cannot control. There are days when the Forex market resembles a chaotic dance of the ocean. Fierce waves rush in, sweeping away every prediction, every hope traders hold. The charts dance like a piece of music without a conductor, leaving behind faint traces of hope and disappointment. In this ambiguous space, a trader stands, eyes fixed on the waves. their heart laden with uncertainty, asking, "What can I do to change the course of the storm?" But if one looks deeper, perhaps that question doesn't need an answer. Life, like the market, is a long chain of events that humans can never fully control. The wind will blow as it pleases. The rain will fall to its rhythm. Waves may rise high, or suddenly subside. What lies beyond reach, in truth, is hardly worth much of our concern. Happiness doesn't stem from controlling the world around us, but from mastering ourselves. Traders, whether new or seasoned, must remember that the market isn't something to control. It is a vast river, and we are but rowers, striving to navigate its twists and rapids with focus, skill, and patience. Picture yourself standing before a storm. Thunder roars, dark clouds loom, and the wind scatters everything in its path. Faced with such a scene, we have two choices: to scream, trying in vain to resist nature's power, or to quietly find shelter and wait for the storm to pass. The calmness of a wise person lies in the second choice, not out of fear, but out of understanding that the storm is beyond their control. Yet how they face it is entirely in their hands. Returning to the Forex market, every price fluctuation is a natural part of the game. A sudden piece of news can cause the euro to plummet or gold to soar. The flashing numbers on the screen seem to possess an invisible power, swaying the emotions of millions of traders worldwide. But you, the discerning trader, will you allow these waves to dictate your actions? It is often said that reaction is what truly matters. Your emotions, the fear when prices move against you, the exhilaration of a winning trade are merely passing clouds. Yet, your actions, whether to stick to your trading plan or let emotions take over, are what shape success or failure. Instead of trying to control the market, focus on what you can control: your plan, the amount you are willing to risk, and your adherence to principles. View each trade as a small boat you send into the vast ocean. You cannot command the wind or the currents, but you can ensure that your boat is as prepared as possible before it sets sail. Your entry point is carefully calculated, your stop loss is placed wisely, and your profit target is clearly defined. Once launched, let the market take its course. In this context, calmness becomes an invaluable asset. A trader understands that losses are inevitable, but they can learn to accept them as part of the journey. A loss is not a failure, but tuition paid for growth, for becoming more refined in future decisions. As the philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, "If it is to happen, it must happen. And if you can endure it, it ceases to be a problem." Think of your mind as a garden. In this garden, winds may sweep through, leaves may fall, and even heavy rains may uproot trees. Yet you, the gardener, should focus on tending to your plants. Plant seeds of discipline, positive thinking, and patience. Weed out the rush and greed. As your garden flourishes, you will find that the winds and storms no longer disturb you as much. Traders, like wise thinkers, must learn to cherish the journey more than the destination. Each trade, whether a win or a loss, is a small step on the path to growth. And in this way, the market ceases to be an unpredictable adversary and becomes a strict teacher, always ready to impart invaluable lessons. When the first rays of sunlight break through after the storm, you will realize that all you need is not the strength to control the world, but the composure to master yourself. The market, like life, is a series of uncertainties, but how you face those uncertainties will define you, not just as a trader, but as a human being. 2. Long-term thinking and serenity in decisions. Have you ever sat by a great river, watching the water flow without haste? The river flows steadily, indifferent to who is watching, untouched by time or emotion. It does not stop when it meets rocks, nor does it accelerate when the wind blows. It simply flows, steadfast and resolute, as if it is its very nature. In life, especially in challenging endeavors like financial trading, people are often swept up in the rapid currents of emotions. When an opportunity flashes by, we rush toward it with excitement, thinking of nothing else. When an unexpected wave crashes, we retreat hastily, weighed down by fear. But amidst these emotional storms, can we learn to be still, like the river, and see things with a calm perspective? Emotions easily overshadow reason. They are like a small flame, initially warm and necessary, but if uncontrolled, they spread quickly and scorch the entire field. In trading, emotions often lead us to mistakes. Greed drives us to take reckless risks. Fear makes us exit trades prematurely. The irony is that these emotions do not come from the market, but from within ourselves. The market, like the river, is merely a flow, impartial and objective. It is our perception and reaction to it that complicate matters. Think of a gardener. Each day, they tend to their garden with patience. When they sow seeds, they do not expect them to sprout immediately. They understand that growth takes time. If the weather turns unfavorable, if rain and wind wilt the plants, they do not rage against nature. Instead, they evaluate, adjust their care, and patiently await better conditions. A trader must be like that gardener, mastering their mindset, accepting all circumstances, and not allowing short-term emotions to ruin long-term decisions. Long-term thinking requires a steady soul, one that can see beyond the present moment. Winning or losing a single trade is not everything. It is merely a small part of a larger journey. Like a sculptor chiseling a block of stone, each strike of the hammer may seem insignificant, but over time, the entire stone transforms into a masterpiece. Success does not come from a single moment, but is built through relentless and enduring efforts. A clear trading plan is the compass for this journey. When large waves arise, the plan keeps you from losing your way. When emotions surge, the plan reminds you of what truly matters. Yet, a plan is not a tool to avoid failure. It is a companion that helps you face failure calmly and learn from it. Picture your mind as a lake. When disturbed, its surface ripples, distorting everything it reflects. But when still, the lake becomes a crystal-clear mirror, reflecting reality as it is. Similarly, a tranquil mind helps you see the market as it truly is, without distortion from greed or anxiety. On this journey, the most important thing is not avoiding emotions, but learning to face them without being overwhelmed. When the market presents unexpected opportunities, carefully ask yourself, is this a decision based on my plan or just a rash reaction? When challenges arise, rather than running away, see them as lessons for growth. The river continues to flow, whether you worry or not. Market fluctuations persist, whether you are joyful or fearful. The only thing you can control is how you choose to respond. And it is these choices, guided by long-term thinking and serenity, that will help you weather any storm, steadily bringing you closer to the shores of success. 3. Patience in the rhythm of time. There is an image that lingers deeply in the minds of those who understand nature. A crocodile lying motionless beneath the water, its sharp eyes just barely breaking the surface, still but full of patience. It does not recklessly rush into the current, nor does it waste energy chasing prey before the time is right. Each movement it makes is a testament to certainty, a demonstration of the art of waiting. In life and in trading, patience is not just a virtue, but a skill that must be cultivated. The modern world, with its rapid pace and pressure to act, often makes us forget that there are times when silent observation is the wisest choice. We are drawn into the whirlpool of instant decisions, seduced by the illusion that every action must be immediate to seize opportunities. Yet, like the crocodile in calm waters, those who truly understand the value of time know that not every moment is meant for action. Some things only take shape when nurtured by waiting. Like a seed buried deep in the soil, it needs sunlight and the right rain to grow into a green tree. If you hastily dig up the earth to check, the seed will die before it can sprout. In trading, every market signal is like that seed. They need time to reveal their true meaning. Rash decisions, entering trades when the signals are not clear enough, often lead only to disappointment. But with patience, traders learn to wait for the right moment so that every trade becomes a firm step on the path to long-term success. Patience does not mean doing nothing. It is proactive in its stillness, focusing on what matters while ignoring momentary temptations. Consider an artisan shaping clay. As their hands knead the clay on the spinning wheel, they do not rush the process. They let the clay mold itself, allowing time to do its work. If hurried, the clay will crack and its shape will distort. Yet with patience, every vessel will take its final form, beautiful and sturdy. In trading, every decision requires time for thought and understanding. The market, with its constant movements, sends signals endlessly, but to discern what truly matters among countless signals, a trader needs to keep their mind calm. Like a still lake reflecting the sky, a mind undisturbed by pressure or emotion can clearly perceive the truth. Impatient people often find themselves chasing after fleeting opportunities. They enter trades unprepared, hoping to seize the moment, but overlook hidden risks. When a trade fails, they re-enter the market in desperation to recover, creating a cycle of mistakes. Patience, on the other hand, teaches us that action does not always bring value. Sometimes, waiting is the correct path. In nature, winter never arrives early and spring never rushes. Everything unfolds at its own rhythm, a rhythm that cannot be hurried or manipulated. Humans, when attuned to this rhythm, learn a valuable lesson. Not everything requires immediate action. Some things need time to ripen, need stillness to grow. A trader, like a hunter or an artisan, must cultivate patience day by day. It is the ability to sit quietly before the screen, observing the market without being driven by greed or fear. It is the calmness in the face of small waves, resisting the urge to trade simply to feel busy. And it is the capability to wait until the right opportunity truly appears, so that every decision brings meaningful value. But patience does not come naturally. It requires practice, like honing a blade. Every time you hold your ground, resisting short-term temptations in pursuit of long-term goals, you are sharpening your sword. Every time you wait for clear signals before entering a trade, you are building a strong foundation for success. The modern world often celebrates speed, agility, and immediate action. Yet true greatness in trading and in life often comes from patience, from understanding that not every moment demands action, from accepting that time is an ally, not an enemy. In the rhythm of the market, just as in the rhythm of nature, Those who know how to wait, how to observe, are the ones who find true value. Patience is not just a virtue, it is an art. The art of understanding that sometimes inaction can be the most powerful action of all. 4. Accepting risk and failure as part of the journey. For many, failure is a wound slow to heal. It is like a strong wind sweeping across a field, tearing away fresh sprouts and leaving a chaotic atmosphere behind. But there are those who see failure through a different lens, as an essential part of the painting of life. Failure is not the end, but rather the dark strokes that highlight the brilliance behind them. In the world of financial trading, failure is unavoidable. Each red number on the screen, each trade that goes against the trend, feels like a sharp cut to a trader's pride. But can anyone truly grow without experiencing setbacks? No tall tree rises without facing storms, and no majestic mountain stands without bearing its own cracks. The market is a relentless flow with unseen undercurrents that no one can predict. A seemingly certain decision can turn into a mistake in the blink of an eye. But those with real understanding do not seek to resist failure. They learn to move through it. Every loss is a lesson in limitation, a reminder that we cannot control everything. Instead of viewing failure as an enemy, regard it as a stern teacher, always delivering the most profound lessons. Life does not measure people by how many times they fall, but by how they rise again. Failures in trading are not just financial losses. They are opportunities to reassess actions. Perhaps it was an insufficient plan, a hasty reaction under pressure, or simply a series of events beyond control. Whatever the reason, failure always carries within it the potential for change and improvement. In nature, there are seeds that only sprout after enduring fire. The heat breaks their hard shells, allowing the life inside to rise from the ashes. Failure is much the same. It burns away mistakes and illusions, making room for awareness and progress. A loss may be painful, but if viewed correctly, it becomes the motivation to rise stronger. A trader, like a blacksmith, must learn to use the fire of failure to forge a sharper blade. Each time the market moves against expectations, it is not the end, but a new chapter for learning. They revisit decisions, reevaluate their plans, and adjust for the future. Step by step, they grow steadier. Accepting failure does not mean surrendering. It is the acknowledgement that failure is part of the journey, but does not define it entirely. A successful trader is not one who has never lost, but one who knows how to use their losses to build success. They do not let setbacks erode their confidence. Instead, they use them as invaluable lessons to move forward. In every field of life, growth is accompanied by challenges. A sculptor cannot create a masterpiece without enduring the breaking of stone under their hands. An athlete cannot reach the peak of performance without stumbling along the way. And a trader cannot become skilled without accepting and learning from losses. There is something remarkable about those who embrace failure. They are not afraid of loss. Not because they do not feel the pain, but because they understand that every loss is an opportunity to uncover what truly matters. They do not let emotions take over or allow fear to cloud their judgment. Instead, they remain calm in the face of setbacks and use them as stepping stones to progress. Failure is an inevitable part of the journey, but the most important thing is how we face it. Some choose to avoid it, blaming the market, circumstances, or anything but themselves. But those who truly grow choose to confront failure head-on, face their mistakes, and learn to correct them. They understand that only through stumbling can they find the right path. In the silence of losses, if one listens closely, the voice of wisdom can be heard. It reminds us that life and trading are not perfect sequences of days, but challenging journeys, and only those who accept failure, who see value in the cracks, can build something enduring from it. 5. The power of simplicity and focus. In a world full of complexities, simplicity is often the hardest thing to find. Humans have a tendency to add more to everything, as if layering on colorful coats of imagined security. Yet, in all that complexity, we sometimes lose sight of the essence, the truly important and valuable core. An artist, standing before a canvas, can become engrossed in adding intricate details, elaborate strokes, and contrasting colors. But sometimes, a perfect painting comes not from adding, but from removing. Each extra brushstroke diminishes focus on the central message. In trading, as in life, simplicity is an art that requires refinement and wisdom. The financial market, with its myriad intricate charts, indicators, tools, and strategies, can quickly become a labyrinth in which one easily loses their way. Traders, in their quest for an edge, often fall into the trap of using too many tools and chasing too many signals. Yet in that overload, the most important thing is often obscured: the ability to see the pure truth reflected by the market. A boat crossing turbulent waves does not need overly complex equipment. It needs a sturdy sail and a steady hand at the helm. Similarly, a trader does not need dozens of indicators or complicated analytical systems. What they need is a focus on the core elements: price action, market flow, and a clear trading plan. This simplicity not only sharpens their vision, but also brings freedom to the mind. There is a story about Japanese samurai warriors of old. They spent their entire lives mastering a single sword, never distracted by other weapons. That sword, honed through thousands of drawers and sheaths, became an extension of their being. In trading too, focusing on a few tools and clear strategies helps traders build mastery and confidence instead of chasing new and shiny distractions each day. The market is never still. It constantly shifts, with signals, news, and movements occurring endlessly. In this context, complexity is not an ally, but an enemy. A trader overwhelmed by dozens of charts, indicators, and tools will quickly lose focus and fall into confusion. But when everything is simplified, when only the most vital elements remain, the mind becomes clearer and more perceptive. Skilled craftsmen understand that a good tool does not need to be elaborate. A sharp knife, a quality pencil, or a well-balanced hammer, these are enough to create masterpieces. Trading is no different. Basic tools like candlestick charts, support and resistance levels, or simple trend indicators can form the foundation of a solid strategy. Simplicity does not diminish strength. Rather, it enables traders to concentrate their energy on the decisions that matter most. Focus is the key. In every field, those who achieve great things understand that scattered energy leads only to mediocre results. A warrior cannot strike true if their eyes dart in every direction. A musician cannot play a complete piece if their hands constantly switch between instruments. And a trader cannot succeed if their mind is torn between countless signals and tools, none of which are truly clear. Simplicity is not just in tools or methods, it is also a state of mind. A simple mind is one that knows how to let go of unnecessary things, focusing only on what truly matters. A trader, when they clearly understand their strategy, does not need to worry about countless external factors. They simply look at the chart, follow their plan, and act according to what they have decided. This simplicity allows them to remain calm in moments of intense market volatility. In today's world, where everything is wrapped in layers of complexity, rediscovering simplicity is a precious gift. It not only helps us see more clearly in trading, but also brings balance and peace to our lives. By eliminating this superfluous, we realize that what truly matters has always been there. We just lack the focus to see it. A simple trader is a strong trader. They are not swept up by uncontrollable factors, nor is their mind scattered by chaotic signals. They know what they are doing, where they are headed, and how to use the fewest but most effective tools to achieve their goals. In that simplicity, they find not only success, but also freedom. 6. Gratitude and serenity in the soul. A gentle breeze passes by, swaying the green leaves still clinging to the branches, while carrying away those yellow leaves that are ready to fall. Each leaf that touches the ground not only marks the end of a cycle, but also begins a new journey. The earth welcomes them with tranquility, allowing them to blend into its embrace and nourish new life to come. In the same way, gratitude is the acceptance of all that has passed, whether success or failure, as an indispensable part of our journey. Gratitude is not only reserved for good things, it is also the recognition of the value in what did not go as planned. When a heavy rain pours down, soaking our feet on the path we walk, instead of cursing the sky, look at the flowers along the way, refreshed by the rain, or the streams that flow clearer. Some things, when they happen, seem only troublesome, but if we pause, we may realize that within every loss there is something gained, and every challenge holds a profound lesson. Gratitude is a gentle light that dispels the darkness of negative emotions. When one door closes, instead of standing there in regret, gratitude reminds us to look around where other opportunities await. Failure is not the end, but the beginning of a series of questions each of us must answer for ourselves. What have I learned? What can I do better next time? There is a story about sails on the open sea. Every time the wind rises, sailors do not curse the ocean. They are grateful for the wind, whether strong or gentle, for it carries them to new waters. The wind may not blow in the desired direction, but with skill and understanding, they adjust their sails, harnessing the wind's power to move forward. Those winds, like the challenges in life, may cause us to waver, but they are also the force that drives us to adapt and grow. Gratitude is the art of slowing down, to see more clearly the small things we often overlook. A ray of sunlight streaming through a window, a comfortable chair to rest in after a long day, a comforting word from a friend in difficult times. These seemingly small things are like lighthouses guiding us through stormy days. They remind us that nothing is permanent, neither joy nor sorrow, and that the most important thing is to cherish each moment we have. Gratitude is not only for the external world, but also for within ourselves. Be grateful for your own efforts, even when the results are not perfect. Each stumble is proof that you dare to take a step. Each loss is a reminder that you had the courage to face risks, and every lesson learned is a priceless gift, available only to those willing to listen and grow. Like a garden that needs tending, gratitude must also be nurtured. Each day, take a moment to reflect on the positives, no matter how small. Not to deny difficulties, but to find light amid the darkness. By focusing on the good, we not only soothe our soul, but also build the confidence to face future challenges. Gratitude brings peace, not because everything is perfect, but because we learn to accept imperfection with an open heart. It teaches us that happiness does not come from having everything, but from how we perceive and appreciate what we already have. Even in loss, gratitude finds reasons to be thankful. Thankful for what we had, what we experienced, and what we are learning to grow stronger. In the rush of modern life, gratitude is a gentle but powerful reminder that everything we have is a gift. A gift not always wrapped in pretty paper, but always carrying value if we open it with sincerity. And by doing so, we not only live more positively, but also spread that positivity to those around us. 7. Planning as a journey of shaping destiny. On the journey to conquer towering mountains, no one sets out without a map in hand. Whether a seasoned climber or a novice venturing into the wilderness, everyone understands that without a plan, every step is a blind gamble. A map does not guarantee reaching the summit, but it is the guiding light, helping one avoid the abyss and traverse safer paths. Life, like a majestic mountain range, is full of winding roads, unexpected turns, and steep slopes that test perseverance. A clear plan is like a compass in the hands of a traveler, keeping them from losing their way when everything becomes obscured. It does not eliminate challenges, but clarifies goals, reminding the traveler that every step, no matter how small, has significance. Planning is an art that combines logic with imagination, reality with expectations. It is about sketching a picture of the future, but not painting it with overly vibrant colors. A good plan is not merely envisioning success, but also laying out specific steps to overcome failure. It is like building a house. The foundation must be solid, the levels must be balanced, and everything must account for storms that may arise. Those without a plan are like boats adrift on the ocean without a rudder. They are easily swept away by waves, battered by opposing winds, and ultimately unsure of their destination. But with a plan, every wave ceases to be a threat and becomes a part of the journey. It helps the captain know when to hoist the sails and when to drop anchor and wait. A plan does not calm the sea, but instills the confidence needed to face the vast waters. A plan is not just numbers or timelines. It is a commitment to oneself, a promise to act with purpose and not let fleeting emotions take control. When a decision is made based on a plan, it is no longer an impulsive reaction, but a deliberate step, guided by clarity and understanding. There is a story about potters. At the start, they always envision the vase they want to create, its shape, size, and patterns. They do not let the clay shape itself freely or allow whims to disrupt the intended structure. Yet, during the process, they are not rigid to the point of rejecting unexpected changes. If the clay cracks at a corner, they adjust, adding water or altering the spin of the wheel. Their plan is not a limiting frame, but a foundation for creativity and adaptability. A plan, too, is not an unyielding prophecy, but a tool for navigating the unpredictable. It does not diminish freedom. On the contrary, it grants freedom within a framework. With a plan, every step has a purpose, every decision a reason. And even when things do not unfold as expected, the plan remains a lighthouse, guiding adjustments and progress forward. In each journey, everyone needs to know their milestones, where to begin, where to rest, and where the destination lies. Defining these points prevents getting lost in the sea of choices. Knowing when to enter, when to exit, when to continue, and when to pause helps avoid the gravest mistakes, decisions driven by momentary emotions. Planning is not merely an action, but also an attitude toward life. It reflects respect for time, patience with goals, and clarity in challenging moments. It teaches that nothing comes easily, but with thorough preparation, every challenge can be overcome. It reminds us that amidst life's storms, a clear mind and a well-laid plan are the most reliable companions. A plan does not make the road easier, but gives meaning to every step. It does not guarantee success, but provides the confidence to face failure. And most importantly, it is not an imposition, but a tool to live purposefully, act with direction, and move forward with determination and resolve.